Right now, somewhere in your home, there may be a chair you have been sitting in since dinner. The lights are still off. The television is silent. Your phone is face down. Nothing terrible has happened. You are not crying. You are not angry. You are just still. Earlier today, 3 people asked how you were doing. 3 times you said, "I'm fine." You were not exactly lying. You just did not have a better word for what was happening inside you. Because on the outside, you look calm. Every message was answered politely. Every meeting was held together. Every request was absorbed without complaint. But inside, you are burnt down to the wick. And when the door finally closes, there is nothing left. Not tears. Not thoughts. Not even enough energy to feel bad about how empty you feel. Maybe you were never the calm one. Maybe you were the exhausted one who learned that calm was the safest version of you to show. Picture an ordinary Tuesday. Not a terrible day. Not a crisis. Just a day that looks completely manageable from the outside. In the morning, you check your face in the mirror before you check how you feel. By mid-morning, you laugh at a joke you barely heard. At lunch, someone types, "How are you?" Before they finish sending the message, your fingers are already writing, "I'm good." In the afternoon meeting, you nod at the right moments. You make your voice sound steady. You store every uncomfortable feeling in a mental drawer and promise yourself you will deal with it later. Then 6 o'clock comes. You close your laptop. You sit on the couch. And you stay there. 10 minutes pass. Then 40. Then 2 hours. You do not turn on the lights because turning on the lights somehow feels like the beginning of another task. This is one of the strangest forms of exhaustion. You are functional until no one is watching. Then your body stops pretending. Sometimes exhaustion does not look like falling apart. Sometimes it looks like scrolling without seeing anything. Sometimes it looks like lying in bed while feeling too tired to sleep. Sometimes it looks like being able to solve everyone else's problems, but feeling overwhelmed by deciding what to eat. Sometimes it looks like silence. Inside you two needs are competing. One part of you needs to be seen as okay. The other part desperately needs to stop. The performing part speaks clearly. It knows what to say, how to smile, and how to make everyone comfortable. The tired part barely speaks at all. It is a whisper buried beneath years of responsibility. And most days the performing part wins. Physiologists use the term allostatic load to describe the cumulative wear the body carries after adapting to stress for too long. Your body can keep you functioning through tension, uncertainty, and emotional strain. But functioning is not free. Think of a reservoir with a hairline crack. From a distance, the surface still looks calm. No alarm sound, nothing appears broken. But the water level's dropping every day. Then, one ordinary afternoon, you reach for what has always been there, and there is nothing left. That is why people sometimes break down on a Tuesday. Not because Tuesday was unbearable, because Tuesday was the moment the reservoir finally ran dry. You may call this introversion. And perhaps part of it is, but introversion alone does not explain why being alone does not restore you. You may call it a busy season, but if every season has felt busy for years, it may no longer be a season. You may believe one quiet weekend will bring you back to yourself. But rest cannot return you to a self you have not been allowed to hear. The deeper problem is that you have performed composure for so long that you no longer know the difference between feeling okay and looking okay. Someone asks how you are and your mouth answers before your body has been consulted. "I'm good. I'm just tired. Nothing is wrong." The answer has become automatic. Not because you are dishonest, because somewhere along the way, your system learned that certain answers kept the room stable. Maybe sadness made people uncomfortable. Maybe anger brought consequences. Maybe needing reassurance made you feel like a burden. Maybe the adults around you had so much pain of their own that there was no space left for yours. So you became easy to handle. You became mature. You became independent. You became the person who did not need much. And people praised you for it. They called you strong. They called you calm. They said you were wise beyond your years. But sometimes a child who seems unusually self-contained is not peaceful. Sometimes that child has simply learned that no one is coming. Years later, that lesson may still be running your life. You are the one people call when their week collapses. You know how to listen without interrupting. You remember everyone's difficult dates. You can sense a change in someone's voice before they admit anything is wrong. But when someone asks what you need, your mind goes blank. When someone offers to help you say, "It's okay, I've got it," that may be the moment the mask becomes easiest to see. Not when you are asked whether you are okay, but when care is offered and you instinctively move away from it. because receiving care can feel more dangerous than giving it. Giving keeps you useful. Receiving makes you visible. And visibility means someone may discover that the dependable person is tired, that the listener needs listening to, that the strong one has been holding their breath. If this is putting words to something you have felt but never explained leave alike, it may help this reach someone else who has been calling exhaustion calm. There is often fear beneath this pattern. Not dramatic fear, quiet fear. The fear that if you stop holding everything together, people will stop knowing what to do with you. The fear that if you become difficult for one afternoon, 10 years of being dependable will be forgotten. The fear that the version of you people love is the version that asks for nothing. So you keep the surface still. You keep your smile measured. You answer "I'm fine" with an exclamation point. And each time you ignore what your body is telling you, you teach yourself that your internal signals are less important than the comfort of the room. That is not strength. Strength includes the ability to hear yourself. Strength includes knowing when you are reaching your limit. Strength includes allowing another person to witness you before you collapse. When you constantly deny your own signals, you do not become stronger. You become unreachable, even to yourself. And that is lonelier than simply being tired. So what begins to change this? Not a dramatic confession, not disappearing for a month, not quitting your entire life. It starts with one honest interruption. One moment in which your automatic answer does not win. The next time a safe person asks how you are, pause for 3 seconds. Long enough for your body to answer before your performance does. You do not have to tell them everything. You can say, "I have been more tired than I've admitted." Or, "I don't think I'm doing as well as I look." Or simply, "This week has been harder than I've been saying." Then stop. Do not turn it into a joke. Do not immediately reassure them. Do not send a second message saying, "But don't worry." Let the honest sentence remain in the room. You are not asking them to rescue you. You are collecting evidence. Evidence that honesty does not automatically cause abandonment. Evidence that the room does not empty when you stop performing. Evidence that you can be seen without being useful. You may not feel relief immediately. You may feel exposed. You may regret sending the message. You may want to take it back. That does not mean honesty was a mistake. It means concealment has felt like safety for a very long time. There's another reason rest may not be reaching you. Look around your home. The chair where you work may be the chair where you eat. Your laptop may be beside your bed. Your phone may be the last thing you touch at night and the first thing you touch in the morning. Every room contains some reminder that you should respond, improve produce, or prepare. There is nowhere your nervous system can go without being asked for something. That is not only a discipline problem. It is an environment problem. Rest becomes difficult when every object around you signals availability. So give rest an address. Choose one small place, one chair, one corner, one soft lamp. No laptop, no work, no phone in your hand. When you sit there, nothing is required of you. You do not have to meditate correctly. You do not have to journal. You do not have to optimize your breathing. You do not have to turn rest into another project you can fail. You only have to remain there long enough for your body to discover that stillness is not an emergency. At first, it may feel terrible. You may feel restless. You may remember 10 things you should be doing. You may suddenly want to clean, reply, organize research, or check something. That is not proof you are bad at resting. It may be proof that constant activity has been helping you avoid what appears when the noise stops. The first quiet moments can feel uncomfortable because your body has learned to associate motion with safety. Tasks give you direction. Messages give you a role. Emergencies make you necessary. Stillness asks a harder question. Who are you when no one needs anything from you? You do not have to answer that question today. You only have to stop running from it for 5 minutes. Many people try to recover by performing recovery. They listen to Burnout podcasts while answering work messages. They read books about slowing down while eating lunch over a keyboard. They track their sleep, measure their stress, and turn healing into another area in which they must perform well. Even rest becomes something to accomplish. But a reservoir does not refill because you keep checking the water level. It refills when the leak is addressed and the rain is allowed to come. You do not need to earn rest by reaching complete exhaustion. You do not need to finish every task first. You do not need everyone around you to agree that you have done enough. Your body is not a machine that deserves maintenance only after it stops working. Tonight, do something very small. Choose one chair. Turn on one soft light. Put your phone in another room. Sit there for 5 minutes. Not 2 hours of numbness in the dark. 5 intentional minutes in which nothing is being demanded of you. Notice your jaw. Notice your shoulders. Notice the part of you that immediately asks what this exercise is supposed to achieve. You do not have to achieve anything. Let your body experience one moment in which it is not being observed, measured, or used. That may be where rest begins, not as peace. Not yet. At first, it may only feel like the absence of performance, and that is enough. In the comments, you do not need to explain your whole story. Just finish this sentence. I look calm when I am actually, one word is enough. Tired, afraid, overwhelmed, disconnected, waiting. You may have spent years believing that being okay was the price of staying loved. That was not a flaw. It may have been a very intelligent answer to an environment in which your feelings did not feel safe, welcome, or useful. But an answer that protected you once can exhaust you later. You are not a child trying to keep the room stable anymore. You are allowed to notice what the room is costing you. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to pause before saying I'm fine. You are allowed to be witnessed before you break. And you are allowed to rest before you have proved that you deserve it. Subscribe if you want more videos that help you name the parts of yourself you learned to hide. You were never simply the calm one. You were the tired one who learned to become still so no one would leave. Now you can learn something different. You can be tired without performing. You can be honest without collapsing. And you can rest without disappearing.